guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we ain't going nowhere. I'm going to finally tell you guys all about my birth story and how it felt for me being a first time mum in labour. So for those who don't know me, my daughter is 22 months now, nearly reaching the terrible 2 stage, and I am definitely feeling it. It has taken me 22 months to finally actually feel more comfortable to talk about this. It was very painful for me, but I will kind of go into details and let you guys know, because I feel like it is important for first time mums, second time and even third time mums, because every birth experience is very different, so I feel like it's super duper important. So I was due on the 5th of April 2017. Yeah, I was really excited, couldn't wait. I was very scared of labour, but I was a big believer of it's got to come out, and you know, it is what it is, and that's all it's going to be, to be honest. I went into labour, my waters broke on the 5th of April, believe it or not. I never ever thought that my waters would actually break on my due date, simply because you hear everyone say, oh, it's very rare that babies come on their due dates, babies are late, so you hear all of these things and you're like, okay, my baby's definitely not coming on her due date. So when my waters broke, I thought I was weeing myself. So my waters broke at 2 AM and I clearly remember it, and I kept saying to my partner, like, I think I'm weeing myself, because I couldn't contain it, but I just kept thinking about everything people have told me, like, your baby's not going to come on its due date. So I was like, okay, cool, maybe it's not that. For those who are mums and those who are about to be mums, you know that on your 40th week, on your due date, you actually, I don't know what my hair was doing, you actually get given a midwife appointment. So yeah, I just thought I was being myself, and I went back to bed like you do. You hear yourself and you go back to bed. So I was laying in bed, and then again the urge came to go toilet, so I went to the toilet, and I felt like my only peace, the only time I felt comfortable was actually sitting on the toilet. But God honest, I didn't think my waters were broken. I genuinely didn't think that. So I went back to bed again and I tried to sleep, and about 5:30 AM I got like contractions, but they were really light, and I thought it can't be it just can't. So I thought it was Braxton Hicks. I didn't think anything of it, casually got on with my day. By 7 AM it was painful. I couldn't handle it, so I called my midwife. I remember this clearly, and I was using an app trying to control my contractions, and I was telling her over the phone. She goes, oh, when are you due? And I was like, today. So she goes, like, you have an appointment today? I was like, yes, absolutely I do, and I will be there. And she said to me, can you handle it till your appointment? Now, as a first time mum, I'm thinking, can I handle it? But I just said yeah, and I went in the bath and I had a cool bath, and I really did handle it. I went to my appointment, and that's when they confirmed my waters had officially broken. So I was like, yay, I'm gonna meet my daughter in a few hours. This is so exciting, and I am bearing the pain okay. So can it get worse? It can get really worse. So did all their tests. Those who are mums know what they do, and they sent me home. They told me to go home. I was shocked. I was like, how can I go home? Like, my waters are broken, my baby's gonna come. And she's like, no, you're just 2 centimeters dilated. It's okay, you go home, and by 10 PM, if your baby hasn't come naturally, we'll induce you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I came home, and I napped, and I had a bath, and I think I actually went out and got food for mum to make. Yeah, I did quite a lot. Made sure I had my last little bits in my hospital bag. So there is a lot to do that you can do if you're handling it, because I was handling it. I didn't feel the pain was as unbearable as obviously it got towards the end. So yeah, it was really great. I was like, I'm gonna meet my baby, I'm gonna meet my baby. So like really excited, and I feel like that's why I bear the pain. So I was waiting patiently till 10 p.m. till I could go and get induced, because my baby just wasn't making an appearance, and I was like, okay, this is getting really long now. I think it was about 8 p.m. and bearing in mind all this time I've had to put those thick maternity pads on, because you're constantly leaking water. I'm like, when is this ever gonna stop? Is it gonna stop? But 8 p.m. I was eating my dinner and I just started to throw up, and I was like, no, we've got to go now, we've got to go. I'm in too much pain. Like, it went from 0 to like 90, because obviously the 100 only came later on, and it was so painful that I was like, I've got to go. So my partner, my mum was with me. They called an Uber, because for those who don't know, I had my baby in central London in St Mary's, so there's the parking there, it's just difficult, so we called an Uber. Thank you, Uber. They got me to the hospital in 12 minutes exact. I remember it till this day. He drove fast. He did not want me to give birth in the back of that car. So we got to the hospital and they were really good. They prepared like this room for me and my mum, because I wanted to give birth naturally. I just wanted to have like my birthing pool. I had like my whole birth plan, like I really did. And 10 p.m. came and went, no sign of my daughter. And I was like, what now? And I was just like in pain, like I was having like really bad back pains, and I feel like a lot of people did tell me like your labour does start from your back sometimes. They filled up the pool and I had a bath and they gave me a bouncy ball. I can't say they treated me bad, they treated me really, really good. But 10 p.m. came and obviously my daughter was still not here, so I just wanted to know where we were going from here. They decided to leave me a bit longer simply because of the fact that I was handling it so well. And they said, okay, by 2 a.m. that will mark the 24 hours of your waters being broken, so they have to induce you. 2 a.m. came and went and no one came to induce me. And I was just getting really scared, because like although they were coming to check on me and check on my daughter's heartbeat and everything was fine, I was just in so much pain at this point, and I didn't really want anything. Like I was doing it all natural, I was just bearing it, and it just became long, to be honest. So then I think it was like 8 a.m. to be precise, that a midwife came in and she's like, oh my god, they've got a room in the maternity ward, we're going to take you up now, we're going to take you up now, we're going to induce you. Because, you know, bearing in mind this has been from 2 a.m. on the 5th and it's now 8 a.m. on the 6th. My daughter's still not here, my waters are broken and I'm in pain. It's just been a very long time now. And we go up, we get induced. For those who don't know, when you get induced you have to have an epidural. It is really painful having an epidural. I think that was painful. And then you ask for top-ups, obviously depending on the severeness of the pain, you ask for top-ups and it just helps you, but at the same time it slows you down. So yeah, it can go both ways. I never ever wanted to have an epidural. This wasn't something that I had on my birth plan, but obviously I feel like delivering my child safely into the world was the most important thing, and that was what I was there to do. And I feel like mums can't forget that that's what you're there to do, regardless if it's a C-section or natural, whatever delivery you have. The most important thing is you getting that child safely into the world, so never ever forget why you're there. So yeah, I got induced and I had an epidural, and by 6 p.m. I think it was 6 or 7, I don't want to lie, around them times I was 10 centimeters dilated. Woo! So they were like, you can push now. Where is the strength to push when you have been awake all those hours with no food? You tell me now. Because when you get induced and have a epidural, you have a catheter fitted, so you can't eat. So I was like, but how now? Anyway, still tried. Without being successful, my daughter still didn't come. And when they finally thought they grabbed her, they didn't. So I was like, okay, what now? And you're panicking because you're just thinking, it's been so long now. I just want my child out of me. And a trainee doctor came in and she was like, oh, how long has our waters been broken? And they told her. Her face dropped. Her face was like, at that point I was very, very scared. Like, I think for me, Oh, I don't want to cry. For me, I feel like when the doctor came in and realised how long I had my waters broken and that my child weren't here, I feel like that's when she worried me, because I saw her face change and she was like, right, we've got to get her to theatre. And she was giving me these papers to sign, and she's like, you've got to sign to have a C-section. And for anyone who knows me knows that that was my biggest fear. Like, I was so scared of having a C-section. And I just remember praying, like, and just thinking, please God, like, I don't want a C-section. And they still take you to theatre anyway. This isn't like a joke. Like, they take you through, and they could see the fear in my face. Like, I was so scared. I was thinking, I have been doing this naturally from 2 a.m. the day before, so how are you now going to give me a C-section? And I was really scared, and they couldn't allow 2 people in with you, so I had to pick between my partner and my mum, and my mum stayed in the room, and I went to theatre with my partner, and I was just really scared, and they made me sign the paper, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have a C-section, the one thing I didn't want. And all I remember was my mum just giving me a kiss and just saying, like, stay strong, like, you're gonna be okay. I'm so sorry. And then I went, and then, like, the doctor was amazing. She literally could sense, and she said to me, I'm gonna try and get her out with the forceps. And I was like, this is my moment, like, she has to come out. I was like, she has to come out, because if she doesn't, I will have to have a C-section. There was no ultimatum about it. So she got the forceps, which is like a little clamp thing. I'll put a picture up. And she managed to get my daughter out. And my daughter was born at 9:40 p.m. on the 6th of April 2017. And it was the happiest moment of my life, but it was the most painful experience. But it didn't stop there. I then felt, literally after having her, I felt like my whole body just shut down, and I felt like I was begging them for water, and they couldn't give me water because I still had the catheter fitted into me straight after I gave birth. Like, they fitted the catheter, had to stitch me up, etc, etc. And after that was really painful. I was hospitalised for 8 days. 8 days? Yeah, I think it was 8 days altogether from when I went in. So it was really difficult because I had a really severe blood loss, which made me become anemic. I had to have a blood transfusion, and my birth plan was none of this. However, I delivered my baby safely into the world, and I just don't think that I could thank the NHS, their staff, and those who supported me on my journey into motherhood. That they was amazing. From start to finish, from the day I entered to the day I left, they supported me in every decision I made, and I am so grateful. But the one thing I will say is that don't have a birth plan. Go with whatever the flow. As long as your child is delivered into the world safely, nothing else matters. And just don't stop praying. Like, believe that whatever is meant to be will be. But yeah, this was my birth story. It's my traumatizing part would definitely be the fact that I had to have a blood transfusion, and it was something obviously I didn't want, but I had to have, unfortunately. But yeah, and the fact that I thought I was going to end up having a C-section, for me it was really, really scary. But I have gone on long enough in this video, and I would like you guys to like, comment and subscribe, and please let me know about your birth experiences. And if you guys are pregnant, please let me know what you guys fear, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to add me and ask me, because I will reply. Because I also know what it feels like to be a first-time mum and be scared to go into labour and just having the fear. But I just honestly believe that whatever, just go with the flow. Like, everything's gonna be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, then it's not the end.